Virginia Satir was one of the most prominent psychologists, archetherapists of the 20th century, and is very, very well known. And she pioneered family psychotherapy, NLP, and many other approaches that are currently very successfully and widely used across many fields like psychotherapy, social work, organizational counseling, and all kinds of other areas. And this is a tool or a model of how we can think about a process of dealing with major stressful situations or situations that require changes in our lives, and basically crisis situations. And this tool, this model, hopefully will help us understand our own experiences so that we know what to do when we go through these kinds of situations. So the model so this is called Virginia Satir's change process model. And so I will use some specific situations to walk you through different stages of a crisis situation or a change situation or stressful situation that we go through. So the first stage on this model is called late status quo or old status quo. It is how we lived before a crisis happened. It's a life that we call normal, a life that is familiar to me, predictable to me, how the life that I'm used to. It doesn't have to be very good necessarily. So, sometimes it can be very comfortable life. Sometimes it can be, it may have problems, like maybe in our family, I may have regular conflicts with my wife or with my children, or I may be, unhappy with my work or something like that. But I'm okay with it somehow. It's familiar. I don't plan to change it. I'm used to it. I'm okay if it continues like that, basically. So I'm choosing the way life is now. I'm choosing not to do anything to make changes. That is called old status quo or late status quo. Then new event happens which disrupts the normality or natural flow of my life, something new that stops life being familiar, normal, or sane. And that's something, you can call it stressor, but in this model, it's called foreign element. So something new, something foreign to my life, how it was before. It can be, let's say, everything was fine, and then my mother died. Right? And death of my mother can be that foreign element, something new that creates stress, trauma or crisis in my life. Something that I don't know what to do now. I don't know how to react to it. I feel lost. I feel stressed. I feel, all these negative feelings. Or, I lost a job. Or I suddenly was, it could be even something positive. I got a new job, but again, it's new to me and I'm not used to it. And in the beginning, I don't know how to deal with this situation. It's too new to me, too overwhelming, too stressful. Or I get divorced, or I get married, or I get sick, right? So life cannot continue the same way as it was before this foreign element happened. Are you following me so far?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So when the foreign element happens, this new situation, new crisis, the first reaction, that's when we have the reaction we called fight or flight, the stressful reaction. We get lost, we feel stressed, we can feel angry or depressed or anxious, all these negative feelings. We can freeze, we don't know what to do anymore, we feel overwhelmed. So all these bad feelings start being overwhelming from the time when the foreign element happens. And the important thing is, and also we lose capacity. Life becomes unpredictable, familiar, or it becomes unnormal. And the first thing that can help to cope with this, to calm at this stage, we just need to be able to calm down and acknowledge the fact that this foreign element happened, the fact that now we are in a new situation. So the way to calm down and restore our capacity to kind of think again is to use breathing exercises like the ones that Alona was offering in our meditation earlier, or Sophie Ko was suggesting, or any other. So when we use breathing exercises, especially when we focus on breathing out longer and deeper than when we breathe in, that activates our parasympathetic nervous system and helps us to start calming down. So then we move to, so I'll use an example of a situation where, I studied, I finished university, and I, for the first time, at one point, I was invited by some organization to lead several workshops for them. I never did that before, and I never did that by myself before. So in the beginning, I freaked out. I felt afraid. I felt like, I don't think I can do it. I didn't know how to do it. And I basically started to panic. So that was my first reaction to the situation. Now, the important thing is that sometimes, or actually most people, will try to go back to return to the old status quo, to return to the life how it was before this event happened. So for example, if I suddenly discover that I am sick, I can for a while deny that and pretend that no, everything is normal, and not go to the doctor or not do anything, and pretend like, and try to continue for a while to live my life as if I'm as healthy as I was before. Okay. Or for example, when I'm offered this job to give several workshops, initially I may try to reject that and say, no, I don't want to do it. My life is fine. I'm okay without the job or without doing those workshops. So we often try to go back, and sometimes in rare cases it's possible, but most of the time it is impossible. If my mother died, I can't go back to you know, as if she is still alive. Or if I lost a job and I don't have income right now, I can't continue to live like I do have a job and I have money and I have, you know, all these other things that I had when I, you know, stability of my life is broken. So it sometimes, most of the time, it's impossible to go back to the older status quo, and it's important to be aware of that. So then what we do is we enter the stage that is called chaos. It's a stage when I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'm in the problematic situation. The problem continues, but I don't have a solution. So as you can imagine, all my feelings of fear, anxiety, worry about the future, not knowing what to do, you know, feeling insecure, all of that continues, right? And at this stage, what do you think? Does anybody, one of you, has an idea of what do I need to get through that stage? What would help me? So something crisis happened and I don't know what to do. Just tell me, don't raise your hand. I mean, I don't see your hands anyway. So if you just turn on your screen. What do you think I could do?
Silence.
What do you mean?
Therapy. Silence therapy.
Okay, but you're saying therapy, basically.
Okay.
Right? Maybe to use your stress reducement or relief strategies.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Maybe to find
good ideas, but what else?
Maybe to find a solution to overcome this situation.
Okay, but the question is, how will I find it? That's the question. So I don't know what to do, and of course I want a solution, but how would I find it? Or where would I find it? What do I need to do?
But you're not in a good status of mind to find and to look for solutions. So you need to train yourself for a good reaction later.
Perfect.
But the first moment you need just to keep yourself somehow.
Exactly. Perfect. So basically, but all of your answers are actually combined. They are, you know, in the right direction. So we need two things at this point. One is we need to take care of ourselves and bring, preserve our mental and physical health and energy to support ourselves, because this is the time when we need that the most. And the second is, when we don't know what to do, we need to start trying as many things as possible. At this stage, we are not looking for the final solution to the problem, but we need to allow ourselves to try anything that comes to mind, any ideas that I think might help me, and also any ideas that maybe I hear from other people, because I do not know in advance. This is a new situation, and often these ideas are also new to me. So I may try ideas that I already knew from the past that helped me in the past, and also some new ideas. But the thing is, I need to understand that I need to give myself permission to try many new things. I enter the stage of trial and errors, and many of the things I will be trying at this stage will not work. And I need help in terms of supporting myself to, try something, fail, get up and try something else, then fail again, and then get up and try something else, and then try something else again, fail, and get up again. So this is a state. That's why it goes like this. This is a time when, again, so we need to, there are two tasks or two purposes. One is to take care of ourselves, and the other is to be open to many new ideas. So for example, when I, decide, okay, I'll try, I want to do this workshops, but I still don't know how. So I said, okay, maybe I'll try to read, I need to read more. So maybe I started to go to the library, and I didn't find any books that were useful or that I liked in the library. Okay, so that's one. I tried it and it didn't work. Then I said, okay, maybe I ask other people to give me some literature that might be helpful on this topic. I called several people and they didn't have the literature that would help me, or they said, okay, we will give you the literature, but then they didn't give it to me. Okay, so then again, I went through many things or several kind of efforts to find to make little steps that might help, and the person needs to keep doing that until they find sooner or later they find something that will become being helpful. Okay, and the similar way, because I know I will be in a chaos stage for a while. Like I will probably not find solution today, or I will probably not find solution this week, or even maybe sometimes this month. I need to be able to preserve myself this month. So I need to, again, take care of myself, eat well, sleep well, remind myself of those things, and also maybe surround myself by, supportive people or psychotherapists sometimes, or sometimes just, close friends who not necessarily help me find the solution to the problem, but at least they support my health and my, mental balance. So, and in the meantime, I remind myself, it's helpful if I remind myself, or they remind me, that it's not going to last forever. Things will be better. I don't know how yet. And it's okay not to know. That's a validation part. We validate the person's negative experiences and challenges. It's frustrating, it's scary. And it's okay also that you don't know the solution yet. It's normal. Everybody doesn't know the solution right away, or the first idea sometimes doesn't work, but you need to keep trying. And the more you try, the sooner, you increase chances of eventually discovering a solution that works. So after various trials and errors, I finally discover some idea, one or several, that actually seem helpful to me. So for example, again, let's say I discovered that, if I find somebody advised me, or I don't know how I came to this idea that I need a mentor, I need a supervisor who can help me plan and prepare for a good workshop, and mentor me, help me troubleshoot, the problems that I encounter during the workshop. So, getting a supervisor. And another idea was, it seemed like, I was afraid to do this alone. So getting a co-facilitator or somebody who could help me during the workshop seemed like idea that might be useful and helpful. So that was number two. And in terms of self-care, I discovered that if I walk in the evening every day or very often, that helps me clear my mind, calm down, and just think about things better. Because if I sit and worry, or if I look at the screen or talk to other people, that drives me crazy. But if I walk in the evening, that somehow feels safer and calmer to me. And I also can, imagine what I need to do or think clearer. So that seemed helpful to me. So once you discover one or two or several new ideas that seem to work, or you try them once and they seem to help, you move to the next stage where you need to practice them regularly, because usually one time doesn't help. So you need to start practicing these ideas. If you discover that, psychotherapy works, then you need to sign up for therapy and start going there. If you discover that exercise works, or your meetings with friends help you, then you start to actually doing that, and do that regularly, not just once. You have to start doing that every 3 days or twice a week, or I don't know how often, but you have to practice that. And similarly, when I started doing, planning the workshop and started the first session, the second session, I discovered that, however well I have plan in my head, it doesn't work as perfectly in reality. Things happen in a way that, I'm not that competent yet. I'm just starting, things come up in a way that I didn't expect, and I still need to. So at this stage, it's like I feel incompetent, and I feel like I need to really practice and get some support that allow me to practice this regularly, whatever skill or whatever practice that I discover, and also help supervise me so that I can become more competent and can do this very well. So if I do it for a while, this new practice, then I become more competent in doing this, and hopefully that's where I start solving the original problem. Okay, so I start feeling calmer, more self-confident while doing the workshops. I feel like now I know enough of material, and I have enough of skills to lead the workshops. I have enough help from others to troubleshoot. And every time after every workshop, I have another supervision session, another support meeting, another something. And so after a while, doing these workshops starts feeling normal to me. I go back to feeling normal, predictable, and positive about myself and my life again. Okay, so that stage is called new status quo. Is when after you discovered new idea, you practiced it long enough to become very good at it, and so that you learned how to do it, and it also helped you to reach the solution to the actual problem. So your life now became normal, predictable, stable, comfortable again. Now it's called new status quo because it's not the same life as it was before. So for example, if I get sick, initially, maybe I don't know what to do or where to go, right? And I struggle, and then I eventually, let's say I discover the right doctor and the right kind of treatment, but that doesn't make me healthy, right? Now I need to follow that treatment, and maybe some illnesses will not cure. I will need to continue to practice that new regime, new lifestyle, but I will not feel bad or stressed or in crisis anymore. That practicing new lifestyle will become normal for me again. I will get used to it. I will become comfortable. I will become more efficient. I will become more competent in living with this new skill or new illness or new something. Sometimes again, we resolve the problem, but sometimes we just learn to live with it. So that's why it's called a new status quo. And life is a series of cycles, then we reach a new normal, and then something else happens in our life, then we can get divorced, or when, we get married, or then somebody else, some other issue happens. So again, it's, and basically life is a cycle, a chain of this chain of change processes that we go through each time. And if several crisis situations happen at the same time, we may be in different stages in relation to each of those situations. So in terms of my health, I can be already in the practice and integration stage right now, but in terms of my marriage or family situation, I can be in chaos right now. So it is possible if I'm in 2 or 3 stressful situations at the same time, I could be in different stages in response to these stresses. Okay, so I hope that you could follow my general explanation of the model. So it helps us predict. So I don't know when I enter this change process, this chaos, something stressful happens to me. I don't know what the solution will be in advance, and I don't know when the situation will be better again. But I know it will be better. I know there is solution, and I know that I'll need to go through the stages, and eventually I'll get there. And that way of thinking helps me get through the stages and also know that what I need at each stage to get there, maybe quicker or faster or with less stress.